For Honor's past, present, and future video gave us some interesting information, not least of which was this image. This appears to be a new hero with a curved sword, and it has sparked the conversation about what heroes should be added to For Honor. This video is going to be my ideas for characters I would like to see. I have ideas for 1 knight, 1 Viking, and 2 samurai since I main the samurai. These ideas could still use fleshing out, but I like them and I wanted to share them with some images for rough visual reference to get an idea of what I want, just a rough estimate. Beginning with the knight's hero, I want to see a Norman knight style hero. We need a knight with sword and board. This hero would have a solid helmet but mail armor everywhere else with a nice big kite shield. The mail armor could also be substituted for scale armor in 1 or more customizations. This also presents the opportunity to include a knight hero with an axe, like the fellow in the back there, if another sword and shield character is not unique enough. I do have a lot of ideas for shield users on this list. The weapon setup would most likely make this character a heavy or hybrid. The shield might give this character the superior block that the old version of Conqueror had, and his main role would be as a counter-attacker. Lastly, one idea for an execution that I have for this character is for the axe-wielding version. The knight would swing down hard, embedding the axe in the shoulder of his victim. When he tries to remove it, the knight can't, and so bashes the victim with the shield in an attempt to free it, only for this to rip the axe from his hand. Frustrated, the knight would then use both hands to pull the axe out of the body on the ground. Next is the Viking hero. This idea takes a few liberties, but I think it still works within the lore of the For Honor universe. An observable in the campaign of For Honor states that the Vikings left across the sea for 1,000 years and then returned. This character might be someone that the Vikings met on their journey and then came back with them to Valkenheim. They would mostly be based on a Native American or Inuit-style warrior with a massive club, as well as a round leather shield. This would be a very tall, very thick individual, covered head to toe in furs, including the iconic Inuit fur hood, with certain areas covered by chainmail, as they would now, having returned to Valkenheim with the Vikings, have adopted some of the Vikings' culture. This would most likely be a heavy class hero, with a few combos ending in an unblockable attack, like Kensei's top-heavy finisher. For 1 execution, I see this hero performing a Dark Souls-style parry after their victim has dropped their weapon and goes for a punch. After this, he delivers a solid hit to the victim's stomach, causing them to double over. With a whack from the leather shield, the victim is knocked flat, face down, and the finishing blow is a hit to the back of the head with the club. Now, for the first of the samurai heroes, I don't have a whole lot I want specifically. This is more of a rough idea. For the most part, though, I want to play as a larger version of one of the samurai minion characters, the little guys we all know with the short swords and rectangular shields. This is a type of warrior that, to the best of my knowledge, predates the samurai. This character would be similar to the previously mentioned knight, using a fairly short weapon and counter-attacking, but they probably would not have the superior block due to the smaller size of the shield. Their sword would most likely be a wakizashi or kodachi, and they would be able to soft feint attacks into bleed attacks similar to Shaman, but without the following tackle. This character also needs to have a jingasa, or battle hat, a cone-shaped helmet used by foot soldiers. This would not be Nobushi or Aramusha's straw hat either. This needs to be proper armor. For 1 execution, they would slash at the victim's eyes. The victim would turn around, falling to their knees while clutching their face, and the warrior would then finish them with a stab through the back, pulling the sword out by kicking the victim between the shoulders. Lastly, the character I want most. This would be a character based on the warrior monks of feudal Japan. This would be a Vanguard class hero, clothed in full samurai armor, aside from the head, where they are clothed in cloth wrappings. This character would be armed with a spear, specifically the yari. Similar to Nobushi's naginata, the yari is an infantry spear, but with a straight blade that can vary in length, and unlike the naginata, the yari did not tend to feature the round guard at the base of the blade. This weapon would commonly feature a blade with edges similar to a bayonet, inflicting wounds that would not heal. For this reason, many of the monk's attacks would cause heavy bleed damage. To vary the moveset from Nobushi, the monk would have a unique fighting style due to his background. This should also be a tall hero, impressive in stature, with this and his comprehensive armor reflected perhaps with a higher than average health pool. As a possible customization, the monk might also carry a banner on his back, which was not uncommon among samurai armies. A possible execution on this hero would be a dodge to the right and a stab up into the victim's torso, just below the ribs. The strike does not last long, and the monk turns away to leave as the victim is left clutching the wound. After a moment, the monk would see he has not finished the job and adds a stab to the chest. The victim would fall to their knees and slowly to the ground completely as the monk stands by in lament of the loss of life. So, these are my ideas for new heroes in For Honor. I have some other ideas, but many of them have been said already by other people. The rapier-wielding duelist hero in the Knights faction, for one. I didn't want to go over these heroes too much, as other people, again, have done similar things. Let me know in the comments what ideas you have about new heroes in For Honor. As always, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.